Welcome to Manga Pow, and let's look at everything you need to know about that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's probably the least inspiring series name since Bleach. The Japanese name is Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken, but it's also known as TenSura for short. It's an action comedy isekai. It's also kind of a harem. Wow! So expect lots of fan service. It's based on a light novel with an ongoing manga, anime, and a few spin-offs, which basically means more shameless fan service. They announced season 2 to the anime, but due to the cock-up that's 2020, it's been pushed back to 2021. Thanks again 2020. Our protagonist's name was originally Satoru, a 37-year-old otaku salaryman. Basically, he's the classic nerd with a boring job, and he's a virgin. This 37-year-old man with a steady job and decent dress sense is somehow a virgin. Does Tinder not work in Japan? He gets killed by a thief, and his last thoughts are used to grant him attributes in the next life. The stab wound is hot, he gets heat resistance. He gets cold because he's bleeding out, cold resistance. The wounds hurt, pain resistance. He's bleeding out, who needs blood? And what do you get when we put this all together? A slime. Basically, this guy from Dragon Quest. His voice changes. He went from this to this. He befriends a dragon who names him Rimuru. He then absorbs said dragon, becoming ridiculously overpowered. Speaking of power, he can absorb things to mimic their skills and appearance. He goes from this to this to this. The humor is classic isekai, but it's Rimuru'S inner dialogue and self-aware comments that really pull through, making both him and the series more likable. It's quite similar to Ainz's function in Overlord. The story itself is nothing special. He goes out into the world and through sheer strength and intelligence, slowly creates an empire of monsters that starts to rival other more established nations. It's really a host of characters that will keep you coming back for more. He's a savage. Deadly, blue, like a ratchet. He's out here decapitating people. Like, people actually get wrecked in this series. My guy kills a dad in front of his kid, and then absorbs the dad and takes the dad's appearance. If that's not the most savage thing you've ever seen. There's definitely fan service, but to be honest, it's not too sleazy. But expect to see bouncing breasts and half-naked characters for no reason. The spin-offs are also basically all fan service, so have fun with that. There are some dope fight scenes. They have predictable outcomes, but I'm a sucker for the fantasy power fights. I look forward to next season because it gets sick. The army scene, if you know, you know. The supporting cast, from goblins to orcs to humans to fairies and elves, is the usual fantasy cast, but each race has their own personality and themes, and it's just fun to watch them interact. and you'll definitely find someone you like. The villains are aight. Most of the conflicts are resolved through diplomacy, so let's just move on. There's nothing drastic here when it comes to character design. It's all based on the classic RPG fantasy kind of world, but a couple dope characters like the Oni really spice things up.
わざとじゃなさそうだし、そうかみたいに角をしまえるわけでもないからな。
もろ出し、いや、押し出しにより勝者しよう。
何言ってんだお前！
The art style is good. Nothing daring, but it's vibrant. Each of the main characters has their own bright color scheme, which supports the light-hearted nature of the series.
こいつ殺していいですか？
いいよ。ってNo!
The music in season 1 is okay, but nothing special. It's light-hearted, which fits the series, and gets more dramatic with fights, but that's really it. The series has a couple drawbacks with the story, but overall, it's actually a pretty good series, and has become one of my favorite isekai of the past decade. It gives me a very similar feeling to when I watch Overlord. Overlord is darker, but wait. Rimuru killed the dad and absorbed him in front of his kid. He's a savage. As always, if you like this video, subscribe and click that thumbs up button.